whole building exploded. We got caught in the fireball. We were only in it for, I'd say, half a second.
Abbey Alexander was 18 years old when she suffered third-degree burns in a gas station explosion. It happened August 14, 2019. She had recently moved to Cambodia with her family.
My family went there on vacation, and we were there for a few weeks, and I told my parents, I want to move here, and I want to teach English. And then my dad actually had always had the dream of opening up a guest house in Cambodia. So a little bit of time went by, and my parents were like, well, we don't really have much keeping us in Colorado. We don't own a house. We'll get rid of all of our belongings and move to Cambodia. So we got a big roll-off dumpster, and we all threw everything away, and we all went over to Cambodia with just a backpack and a suitcase.
And as she hoped, Abbey got a job teaching English.
Teaching English is one of the only jobs you can really get in Cambodia where you make money, roughly around $1,000.
A month?
Yeah.
On the day of the accident, she was running late from her lunch break. She was heading back to school with a friend.
So as we're pulling up to the side of this gas station, I can see the smoke and I can smell the gas. Just as we were starting to cut across, the whole building exploded. I told everybody right afterwards that there was a tanker truck that exploded. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I made that up or not. It's so hard to tell, and from what I know, there was never an investigation. So we don't really know what truly caused it.
Several people died. Abbey suffered burns on her entire body.
But it's a very quick, like boom and then done. But I stopped, dropped, and rolled afterwards, and I got ran over by a car. And yeah, that was my type of luck that day. And luckily, we had a coworker that actually had a car, which isn't that common there. So she was able to load us up in her car and take us to a clinic that was only about half a mile down the road. And we make it to this clinic, and they're one of the best clinics there, but nothing compared to American standards, I'd say. So it's actually kind of funny. I always tell people, you don't wear shoes inside in Cambodia. Like most places you go, you take your shoes off. So somehow, after having third-degree burns to 40% of my body, I still knew to take my shoes off. So they ended up getting some trash cans and filling them up with ice water. You're like putting our burns in them, which we've since learned makes burns worse. They drilled into my bone directly to get an IV access because they were trying everywhere and they couldn't get any IV access for me. So they couldn't even give me pain meds first. They just went straight into the leg bone. And then once we get to this better hospital, they told me that they had to intubate me because I had third-degree burns to my throat. And I really don't remember that much afterwards.
She was eventually flown back to the States and was cared for in a Colorado hospital before being discharged in October, nearly 2 months after the explosion.
And that was a super long process to get me back because I didn't have international health insurance. So because I didn't have international health insurance, the US Embassy and the State Department had to get me out of there. And I had to get the biggest repatriation loan in United States history. So because of that, they took away my passport until I can pay that back, $250,000. But I've filed for bankruptcy on it, so I think I could get my passport back at this point. But I don't think the State Department's very pleased with me because they had to go in front of the White House and get special permission for this loan.
Yeah. And how are the burns now?
I feel like they look pretty good. I have not taken care of them as best as I should have. You're supposed to wear compression gear for 23 hours a day for the first year. And I'm still supposed to keep them out of the sun. I don't listen to that. I try to keep up on my sunscreen. But I was a stubborn 18-year-old when I got burned that thought I was invincible. So I didn't take the best care of them. But overall, I'm pretty happy with them. I'm very happy with my face because my face had third-degree burns. And they were able to do experimental stem cell treatment on my face.
It's been 5 years since that horrific day, and ever since, she's been looking forward. She recently shared on Reddit an update on her recovery journey, something she's been doing every year since it happened. This time, it was an extra special post.
So I just decided to put, I think I put like almost 5 years post-burn, never thought I'd ever be happy again. And now here I am, pregnant, engaged, and thriving, or something like that.
Because of the burns, she does have some pregnancy complications.
So it sounds like I'm going to be induced about 5 weeks early and have a NICU stay and everything. But because of my blood transfusions I received, I have some weird antibodies in my blood, which are like super rare. I think only like 2% of the world has them or something. So it makes things a lot more complicated, especially living in such a rural area. And there's a huge chance I won't be able to have any more babies after this because of that. So it's kind of scary.
For the past few years, she's lived in Glendive, Montana, working at a school with kids who have special needs. Her family is still in Cambodia.
Like my parents both, they're authors on Amazon now, where they sell like self-help, like chakra healing books. And my brother's actually a physics teacher out there now. So I don't see them ever returning.
She'd like to return to Cambodia too.
If I ever have a chance, I would love to meet with the owner of the gas station just to try to get some answers, but I don't see that ever happening.
Do you want answers?
I think it would help, especially because we're so up in the air of how many people were injured or how many people died.
How would you say you survived what happened to you?
Like, I think finding the humor has definitely helped a lot though, because there's days now, even 5 years out, where I still wake up and I hate the way my scars look. I hate the way people stare at me out in public. I miss my old body, especially like seeing memories of what I looked like before I was burned and everything. And then I'm just like, well, screw it, because at the end of the day, who actually gets exploded in Cambodia? Like, to start out with, that's kind of a crazy story that I can even be able to tell. It's good icebreaker at the bar. I'm also active in some burn support groups online. So I like to be able to show people or reach out to people whenever they're freshly burned, just to be able to show them like, look, the burns suck. There's no sugarcoating it. Like, I wouldn't wish burns on my worst enemy, but it doesn't last forever. Like, one day you're gonna wake up and it's gonna suck a little bit less.
And for Abby, with a baby on the way, it certainly has gotten better. I'm Lee Sheps for Inside Edition Digital.